These are the top 3 things you must do with your kids so that they can stay healthy on this back to school season. Welcome back to Health Spice and Live show, HSL show. I'm your host, Dr. Mario. As you know, these times that we're living in are not the typical ones, and therefore back to school is not what we've known it to be before, thanks to coronavirus. But these are the 3 top things that you must do with your kids so they are staying healthy as we go back and transition to the back to school season of the year. You see, the number 1 thing that is so overlooked is sleeping. Children, it's recommended that they sleep anywhere between 8 to 10 hours every day. Why is that so important? You see, the immune system is completely listening all the time. When kids are not resting enough or not sleeping enough, their immune system is not regenerating. Their neurons in their brain and their body are not going to have all that time, downtime, to be able to replenish all the chemistry, all the chemicals or the substances, the hormones that are necessary for the growth. But more importantly, as their brains are developing, that downtime is actually a very, very high activity time for the brain. That is a time where all those connections are being wired in the brain, just like electrical cables, from all the things that they have been doing up to the point where they are in their lives. So it is so important that you concentrate in saying, okay, we have to have that time. Set a particular time of the day, schedule it so that it becomes a habit, and your child is going to have that downtime that is so needed for their development. Another important tech tip: everybody likes to use their phones. In the case of the kids, tablets. Maybe they're using the arcades for the video games. So important that we give them that time to not be with that kind of activity, that kind of stimulus, so that their brains can start quieting down, and when they go to sleep, it's time to regenerate. The second thing that is so important in this back to school time to keep your kids healthy is the aspect of the diet, nutrition. And when I say diet, I'm not talking about giving them things for them to lose weight, but we're talking about what is it that they're consuming. Do everything you can for putting in front of them whole foods. What is it that I'm talking about that? What I mean by whole foods is foods that have not been processed. Do your best as you can to be able to get foods that are organic. Put vegetables in their diet, put fruits in their diet. So key, because these nutrients are whole. These nutrients will also, just like with sleeping, will support their immune system. And that is so key, particularly now when there is so much fear about going to school and other kids potentially being sick, which is going to happen anyways, independent of coronavirus. So important to have also, just like sleep, keeping children in a schedule. Know when you're feeding those foods to them. So important. Also, let's say that you don't have the time because you're a really busy parent to go on a regular basis to get foods that are fresh, that are still pretty much alive and vital. You can also get organic foods that are frozen. You can put them away, and as they're needing them, you can serve them to them. So important. The kids are using all of these nutrients, not only to grow, but their immune system is being supported by the quality of those foods that you're putting in front of them. The last piece that is essential to keep your kids healthy as they're going back to school is addressing fears and anxieties. As you know, all kids go through this, but it is so essential that we create a space where we can listen to them, we can pay attention to them, we can be present to them. For children, it is essential to be touched, it is essential to be hugged, it is essential to be loved. So set the time to be able to ask them, how was your day? How are you feeling today? Let them vent, let them express how is it that they're feeling. You see, when we are experiencing fears and anxieties, our immune system, once again, suffers from that. It gets depressed. And also, kids cannot have the same attention span. They're not going to learn the same way because that is going to block them from doing that. Also, if they're experiencing fears and anxieties, they're not going to sleep well. And as well, they're not going to be eating correctly because they'll feel like they don't have appetite. These 3 things that we've talked about today are completely together in a special triangle to be able to feed the health of your kids as we're approaching back to school times during times of the pandemic. This is Dr. Mario from Health, Spice, and Life, and as I always say, from my heart to your heart, a tu salud. See you next time.